This video is sponsored by Squarespace. This is my glaze water bucket. I use it to rinse off my glazing tools in my mixer. I have never once actually emptied this bucket since I started my studio 3 years ago. It's about 50% glaze at this point. This is my reclaim stash. I take all of my clay scraps, dehydrate them, rehydrate them, and dehydrate them again, wedge them all up so that not a single clump of clay gets wasted. These balls of clay are random mixtures of the different clays that I have in my studio. They're all at different ratios of the clays and different hydration levels, which makes them unpredictable and kind of a pain to use. But it's time to finally deal with all of my studio waste. I want to see if I can make this studio trash into pottery treasure. I have a sneaking suspicion that there is pieces of bisque or pieces of paint from my mixer that's chipping off. As much as I don't want to do it, I really do think I need to sieve this bucket. So let's do that. I'm mixing it so I make sure I get all of the glaze up from the bottom. I want to get all of that. It's gonna be a mess. I don't normally stir so vigorously. I also feel like this is, am I at the bottom or is this just rock hard? I can't tell, and I'm not interested in putting my hand in there. So I've got this sieve with different mesh sizes. I'm going to start with a very big mesh size so it can get out any major chunks that are in there. Okay. Now the question is, how am I gonna get all that in here? Oh, okay, no, it's not happening.
Two hours later.
There's definitely dog hairs in this glaze. How my dog gets her hair down here, where she doesn't ever go really, is a mystery. Oh, there's there's actually grog in here. I think there's that piece of wood in here. Oh my gosh. It's just loads of stuff. It's layered the earth is. Putting in a second finer sieve. Okay, now we have clean glaze. It looks really good, but the problem is I don't know what color it is yet. Just because it's this pinkish color does not mean at all it's going to be that color when it gets through the kiln. I'm guessing it's gonna be some kind of brown mix color. I'm gonna take a test out of this glaze and we see what color it is. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out online. I've been using Squarespace pretty much ever since I started my business because it has incredibly easy to use features, including their drag and drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. Friends, we have our glaze back. And is this not the most beautiful freaking glaze you've ever seen in your entire life? Like, this is more beautiful than a lot of the glazes that I buy. I'm obsessed with this like kind of blue. It's like a grayish blue though. It's not like a warm blue. I love it. I think it's so cool. And I guess it makes sense because I use a lot of blues. I suppose I should have known that. And the fact that the glaze was reddish pinkish means that it has a lot of cobalt in it. It all makes sense, but I'm so freaking excited to use this glaze. I have so many ideas of things that I can do with it, but I do have a problem. Because this is a mixed glaze, I can't guarantee like the stability of it, basically. It could potentially leach into your food, so I wouldn't call this a food safe glaze. There's all these different glazes and there's so many different chemicals. I don't know how they're gonna interact, and I don't trust it. So I think the safest thing that we can do is make something not food safe with this. And I'm thinking I wanna do some vases. I almost never make vases. Like, I want to make something that I don't often make. And it just makes sense to do right now because I can't make this food safe. So let's make some vases. I'm not exactly sure what size I want to do because, well, vases can be any size. And I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling like drawn to the idea of making small vases. So this is 400 grams. I might make some bigger ones as well. But the nice thing about small things is that number one, they're cute. And number two, they ship a lot easier. And I mostly sell online. I mostly sell with shipping involved. Oh, and sometimes shipping costs like 35, 40 bucks, which is crazy, but that's just what it costs, you know? Like, I'm living in Germany. If I ship to North America, it's just what it costs. And it sucks, and I hate paying that, and you hate paying that. So the smaller the pieces, the easier the shipping is. But then again, a vase, I don't know. I'm just going to throw some small ones for now and we see how we like them. And then I might also try and do some like larger size. We shall see. Also, I have no plan. I'm just gonna throw some things and see what happens. Ooh, you are groggy. This hurts my hands. Ouch. Cute. Oh, no, I like that one. Ah, damn. Okay, I'm super happy with how these turned out. I think they're all really fun shapes. Don't know how I'm gonna decide which ones to make. But right now I want to experiment with a few larger ones because these are cute, but maybe people want normal sized vases. Let me just throw a few and we'll see. Okay, I made 6 little vases, 6 big vases. I mean, they're not that big. They're like medium size, but they were big enough for me. They were quite a challenge. I really wanted to make this kind of narrow opening because I think that flowers just sit better when they're a little bit like clustered in the middle and then they can kind of poof out versus in a larger opening vase, they kind of just like flop. This is my experience around flowers anyway. So now I have to decide which ones I'm going to make in repeat. As much as I would love to make like 100 different vases in 100 different shapes, that will become a nightmare when it comes to photographing and listing them. These are the things we gotta think about when we make our hobbies into our jobs. So I can't really choose because I love all of them, to be honest. I'm really happy with all of these pieces. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to Instagram and put up a few polls. I'll have people choose if they want big vases or little vases, and we'll do sort of like a bracket system, because last time I did this, I got in trouble for not giving y'all enough options and squishing some of the ones that you liked. So we'll do a bracket system this time, and that will help us decide. I think I'm gonna narrow down to 3 different shapes, because I can't just do one. I'll do 3. 3 is reasonable. Let's take some pictures. Okay, I'm gonna make a little poll and see the results tomorrow. Good morning. So we have the results of our Instagram poll. So first what I did is I pitted the bigs against the littles, and y'all chose the littles. JK, I'm not gonna smash all these. This one had a hole in the bottom. I am gonna keep a few of these because I do quite like them, but they're not going to be featured in this video. Okay, so what I did next is I realized that a lot of these were quite similar. So like these 2 and these 2 and these 2, yeah? Quite similar. So I just pitted these against each other to choose our finals, and I need to actually just double check that I got this right. Okay, first up, between these 2, this guy was the winner. So unfortunately, we're gonna smush this guy. And then of these 2, this is not surprising at all. This was kind of a landslide here. Y'all chose the more round one, which makes sense. I would choose that one too. So we're gonna smush this one. And then the last one, also not a surprise. Y'all voted for the curves. So, so here are our final survivors. I really like these. I think what I'm going to try to do, you see how these are like basically the same size? This one's a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. I think what I can do to sort of unite these forms and to make them look like they're from the same collection. So I'm going to try, it's the operative word, to make the rims all mostly the same across the 3 different shapes. And then they can look really nice if they're like in a little cluster or something. So they look like they're of the same family, but you know, different siblings. That's the goal. So I'm just gonna throw as many as I can with these. I've got 4 bags left. I wonder how many this will be. I could weigh them, but I think I'm just going to not. I think I can get quite a lot of these because these little guys, they're only 400 grams. So I think I can get quite a lot of vases out of this. So let's do it. Did I clean up my wheel after throwing yesterday? No. Of course not. As a warm-up, I'm going to start with this shape. I'm going to try and make this shape all of these balls worth of times, but with one little change. I hope to make the rim a little bit more narrow to match the other ones. And please be gentle with me about making these repeats because this is reclaim. They're all going to be slightly different amounts of clay anyway because there's different water levels in them. The water creates more weight if the water level is different. There's a different like quantity of clay particles in each one of these little balls. So be gentle. And then the other thing about making repeats is what I try and do is notice each step, what I'm doing, and like try and copy the same amount of pulls, the same width that I open it up. All of that, like building the basis of it helps a lot for making them actually look the same. So it might take me a few rounds of making these to kind of come up with a system, but that's fine because it's reclaim and we can reclaim it again and reclaim it again, etc. Shade number 2. This one's a little bit trickier now. I'm done. We have empty clay bags. Woohoo! So my reclaim is finally caught up. I made 36 vases. I did have quite a few smushies that didn't survive. But overall, I'm really happy with them. This one here, actually, the round one ended up being the hardest of them all somehow. They're not as similar as I would like them to be, but honestly, it's gonna be fine. Once they're all cleaned up and glazed the same color, they're gonna look similar enough. I would say. Okay, I'm going to let these dry out overnight. I'll probably put some light plastic over them a little bit later when they're not quite as tacky. And yeah, and then tomorrow I'm just going to finish them up. I'm thinking I'm not going to trim these because they are annoying and hard to trim. I would need a chuck. And I just don't feel like it. I don't think that they need it. So I'll show you what I'm going to do tomorrow. Good morning. The plan for the day is simply to tidy these babies up and get them ready to like dry out. I'm going to skip the whole trimming step here because they truly don't actually need it. You guys, you don't actually have to trim your pottery, especially when it comes to something that's not like a cup or a mug or even like a plate or a bowl, because with these vases, it doesn't matter how heavy they are. I mean, I tried to use my clay wisely, you know, I don't want them to be too heavy, but with something like a vase, it's actually beneficial for it to be a little bit heavier, because if you think about it, putting like some branches or something in here, you could put something quite large in this little opening here. And if this thing is too light, it's just gonna fall over. So actually we want our vases to be a little bit more heavy, in my opinion. Pottery being light to hold is held up as just like the standard of how well something is made, and I just don't really agree with that. It all depends on the context, in my opinion. So for these guys, it's also a lot easier not to trim them because they have got this little opening that doesn't balance very well, and I would have to make a chuck that would accommodate that, and I just don't enjoy faffing with things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth the edges. I can just use my finger to wipe across the bottom here, and we're gonna call it a day because that's actually all it needs. I was very conscious of when I was throwing these to not leave a lot of extra clay in there to be trimmed away. There's a little bit extra there. That's what I'm talking about with the extra weight. It's fine. My focus here is on making the shape nice and perfect so it looks really beautiful on your shelf. So that's what we're going to do. Good morning. So it's been about a week since I last checked in, and I'm really proud of myself because while I was waiting for these to dry, I actually had to do another batch of reclaim. Now, old Maya would just leave that for the next batch and, you know, forget about it. We're just gonna put it back on the shelf. New Maya decided to throw more. So I have 22 more vases that are currently drying. But in the meantime, these are dry, so I can start loading them in the kiln. Send a prayer to the kiln gods for me. The first batch is out of the kiln, so I'm just going to go ahead and glaze them. Wow, I am so happy with how these turned out. The color is like so soft and subtle. It's like a gray blue, I would say, but then in certain lights, it looks just a little bit green. So maybe like a gray teal. I'm not sure, but I think it's really, really beautiful. The color was a bit of a surprise for me because the swatch is definitely like lighter, and I saw it, for me, it was reading more blue, but it totally makes sense because the clay is darker since we're using reclaim for this. This was just a white swatch. I also finished a few of the larger ones. I just have 3 of them, so I think they're looking pretty beautiful. And yeah, I think that this collection is just really, really special to me personally because it is made from the waste of my studio. You know, a lot of studios would throw away the glaze waste. Some studios even throw away reclaim, which to me is crazy, but I think that makes this collection really, really special personally, is that it's made with trash basically. And along those lines, I did want to share with you guys that this studio is pretty much carbon neutral, like as carbon neutral as I have the power to make it. I don't have any control over, you know, the way that clay is produced, for example, but the electricity from the lights to the cameras to my kiln is completely green energy. We use Greenpeace energy here, Green Planet, I believe they're called. So it's all sourced from sunlight, from geothermal, and, you know, wind, I guess, all of the renewable energy sources. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, if you're interested in purchasing one of these, I will have the link down below in the video description. I hope that you guys love them. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.